I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I've never had a fume board cause a reaction like this. This hive is a little flighty. They swarmed early in the season. They've been a little more aggressive than normal. Fuming them to pull honey supers off, and a whole bunch of the bees are vacating the hive. It's almost like an abscond or something along those lines. Now, it's interesting, but that is not something I'm looking for this time of year. We're in dearth. You know, it's right at 1st of August, headed into fall. Don't need problems right now. Probably don't have enough time to get them straightened out if something happens. If they go queenless or something along those lines. Oh well, that's why beekeeping is a numbers game. If you've got 10 hives, you're sustainable. If you've got 40, you're sustainable. Hey guys, Nathan Duck River Honey. You can see my honey harvest went pretty well, had some ups and downs. It was new for me using the hive lifter. I didn't use it on the first honey harvest, and I gotta say it worked really well, sort of better than I was expecting. But I got done with my first yard with it, and I was going to go harvest from the next yard the next day, and one of the wires in the momentary switch running down to the motor, or to the control unit I guess, got a short in it. In my opinion, it had improper insulation, and it got frayed where a zip tie was connecting it to the frame. So it took me nearly a day to get that traced down. I put a new momentary switch on it. Big problem I had with it is there's no battery cutoff on that thing. So what happened is, on the last honey super I was moving into the honey house here, the motor stuck in the retract position, so it's just running, and there's a clutch thing in there, so it was disconnected. It wasn't hurting anything, but I couldn't shut it off. And to open up the battery box, you've got to pull the frame apart. So I ended up cutting the feed wire, the power feed to the motor, and with a pair of lineman's pliers. So I got it shut off, but that did not sit too well with me. So I traced down the short. I put a new momentary switch on because I didn't know if it was good or bad. I insulated all of the wires with electrical tape and then rewrapped them with electrical tape. It's a lot more insulated than it was, and I put a battery shut-off switch on there. You know, really that's something it should have. If something like that ever happens, you want to be able to shut the thing off. So where I'm at in the season, it's actually more than a week after you saw me harvest the first yard. I pulled the second yard 2 days ago, and honey house is working really good. It's holding 30% humidity and 86 degrees in here. I'm running fans on the supers, so I'm able to dry wet honey down, and it's working really well. I actually put drawn comb from my first honey harvest when I put wet supers back on the hives, and surprisingly some of them filled it up with sourwood and sumac honey. There's some honey in almost all of them, but you know, some of them are empty, but some of them are completely full. So I think I like doing that. I like in the future, I think I'm going to try to pull honey around June 1st, you know, June 1st to June 15th, and then do my second pull July 15th to the 1st of August, somewhere in there. I think I'm going to like that system, and put the wet supers back on hives. If they fill them up, they fill them up. If they don't, they don't, you know. So where I'm at is between the first harvest and what I've got already, I've got somewhere around 1,700 pounds plus this extraction. I don't know what's going to be in these. I'm guessing somewhere between 400 and 600 pounds. So that would, if that shakes out, it's going to put me at somewhere around 100 pounds per production colony average, and I can't complain about that. You know, the state average here is about 60 pounds per colony, so I'm definitely not going to complain. So guys, I'm going to get to work here. I've got to get on these before hive beetles get too active. Got to get them extracted in the next day or two. Next thing I do will probably be a honey house update. I've got a lot of work done in here, and it's working pretty well so far. I've had some hiccups, but you know, being able to control the temperature and humidity in here is pretty big. Having electricity, lights, and I've actually got running water now, even though it's not hooked up to septic yet. All that is really a game changer. It makes life a lot easier. I appreciate you watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.